Hey, what's going on, everybody? This your man, Azim. We want to thank y'all for coming out and joining us on the I'm Just Serious podcast. Listen, we are really, really excited today, man. We got a great show lined up for you. We got three amazing people that will be coming on to talk to you about a couple of things that's going on in America right now. But before we even get that started, the first thing I need to talk about before we go any further is to give a happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there who have done something and have given of themselves and to provide a service for protecting the borders of the country. So we want to give them a warm round of applause for that, y'all. So y'all got to give it up for the veterans out there. Here's the beautiful thing about where we are with taking care of our veterans. One of the most important things I've always known is a lot of people in other countries go out and they fight because they flat out are obligated to do so. In Cuba, for example, you have to, right after high school, you have to immediately, if you're a young man, you have to immediately become a part of the military and serve, I believe, 2 to 4 years. Other countries are the same way. There's an obligation for people to be able to be a part of the military. So for people in the United States to say, I will voluntarily put my life on the line, we can't do nothing but salute that. So again, happy Veterans Day to each of you. That said, this past week has been absolutely amazing. Like, it's just been mind blowing that when we last did a podcast, it was November the 3rd. November the 3rd, I'm thinking, by the end of time before I go to bed, night, I'm going to be finding out who is actually going to be the president of the United States. And I'd be darned if I ain't find out till Saturday morning when I'm eating some Captain Crunch. First, that in and of itself kind of blew me away, because this is the second time that we've had this particular scenario occur. And this was 20 years ago. Al Gore, George Bush. Al Gore, George Bush, and it came down to the wire. Republican took over the office. Al Gore disagreed with it. Then we had to count and deal with shards. Now, when I heard the first time I heard shards, the first thing I was thinking was somebody boo-booed in their drawers and didn't wipe well. So that was what I thought the shard was. But apparently that's when you have a little clipping that's still on the ballot. Now, we find ourselves faced with that same dilemma in this particular election. And so Saturday, they finally called Joe Biden the president-elect for the upcoming year. And so I know a lot of Americans are extremely excited about that. Me personally, I'm just excited that Donald Trump is up out of here. I'm actually excited about Donald Trump being out of here. I'm not really, you can't be mad at me. I'm not necessarily a Joe Biden fan. I'm darn sure not a Donald Trump fan. And the reality of it is, we still got to realize that as excited as we are about having somebody else in office, you got to realize that this country in particular right now is truly divided. 50-50. 50-50. And hell, I might even say it still leans a little more 60-40 the other way, but some people just still said anything but Trump. Because let's be honest, that's pretty much what a lot of people want to do. But there are so many different things that came to my mind as I saw the excitement from people's faces all across the country. So many people were like, yeah, we're gonna be good now. We're gonna get America back to where it was. I need America to be better than what it was. I think we all have to bear witness to that even though Trump tore it up more. In other words, if somebody put you in a raggedy house, but then you realize now you don't have no grass, the house was still raggedy before somebody messed up your grass. And what I'm saying is that we have to take ourselves to a whole nother level and get ourselves better than even where we were pre-Trump. Because the reality of it is, Now we have found out that there's a whole nother group of people out there who realized that they had somebody out there that was willing to speak to their voice, even though he would do nothing for that particular group. Because Trump would pull out the people from the double wide, and the only thing I ever seen pull them out of the double wide is a big keg of beer, and he decided to be able to pull them out. But I've never seen anybody that would take advantage of a group of people that they still aren't really willing to represent. But he did that to get where he is. So the fact of the matter is, I'm just excited that, Trump gets to finally experience what an eviction feel like. So, I'm just saying, go and grab your U-Haul, dog, because it's time to roll. Oh my God. I've shown enough loving it, man. It's amazing. Like, and then here's the thing. When you see Agent Orange go into his shell, like he bunkered it down. Like, I'm like, why my man ain't coming out now, hitting off with all the heat? It's because his blood pressure is so high. He don't even need to get in his tanning bed right now. He don't have to call his airbrush artist, because his airbrush artist is dope. If he was doing cars, I think, you know what, I don't know who it is, but if he was doing vehicles, that stuff would be so the bomb, because they paint him orange. Only thing they do is they just leave that little spot right there. And I think that's just payback to let them know, like, you still white up under this orange skin. I thought he had graduated from Syracuse, because he's just that orange, So I'm excited though, man. One of the things that I know I wanted to talk about for myself, man, is that there's a lot of job openings in America. A lot of job opening in America, and that's all been attributed to Donald Trump, because pretty much everybody he's ever hired is no longer going to have a job come January 20th. And I'm telling y'all right now, put an application in, because you can't do worse than the people that he had up in there. I'm telling you, I looked at it like, oh, look at this obituary. Look at all these people that just done died a horrible death because they hung their life over the Donald Trump banner. You got, what's that one lady's name? Kellyanne Conway. Everybody remember Kellyanne Conway? She not even gonna be able to talk about the farmers market in her neighborhood no more on news. She threw, because you attached yourself to Donald Trump. What? I don't get it. I don't get it. And I don't understand how we got this one dude, the judge, William Barr. Let me say this. If I see him ruling over traffic violations, I'm going to be impressed. I'm going to be impressed. I don't even think they're going to allow him to be able to reside over traffic violations. That's how garbage he is. Your boy, Stephen Miller, the senior advisor, you know what? He can't even tell his children what to do no more, because they're going to be like, I saw how you were with Trump. And with all of the different people that are going or in politics right now who are afraid to really make the choice that they really need to make about just distancing themselves from Trump, Trump actually told them, if you take your butt out here and start looking for a job, I'm firing you. First off, I used to have a job. Now, I know some people say it's proper decorum to let your employer know that you quitting. That's called 2-week notice. I've never done that. I'm gonna just tell y'all right now, I've never done that. I feel that, that should be a two-way street. I've yet to hear an employer come to me 2 weeks early and say, hey, Zane, listen, we're gonna tell you right now, next week, we just not gonna need your services no more. So we're gonna let you ride out this week. We was thinking about 14 days, but we can give you 7, because they know good and well you're not coming back the next day. So why am I gonna give you the courtesy? If I'm the people that work with Trump, I'm already gone. I'm already gone. I'm grabbing my things, because Trump might tear that whole house up. I'm telling you right now, that place gonna look like the slums when Trump come up out of there. He probably gonna put a hole in the wall, write some graffiti on it, smear some orange paint on the wall, just to let you know that this where he at in his life. this is where he is at in his life. And I just think it's interesting, man, that we got Joe Biden now, 46th president of the United States, number 46. Joe Biden has done some historic things in America. The first thing that he did was during his lifetime, he was the youngest senator ever to take office as a sitting senator. And that was absolutely amazing. And now at 78 years old, he is the oldest man to be elected president, which is great on both ends. He's alpha and omega in those areas. However, here's the thing that I'm noticing is that some people are actually concerned about, Joe. Like, they worried about his health. Like, 78, you gonna make it 4 years. And I'm like, I'm not necessarily worried about his health. He looked like he's, good when he found out that he got that presidential nomination. You saw how he skipped on across that stage. But I do realize that one of the concerns I have is that I do know that his team is now going to start changing the times of evening press conferences to around 2 to 2:30 in the afternoon. There won't be no State of the Union at 8:30 at night. Joe not doing that, because anybody that knows somebody 78, they got their pajamas on at 5:30. So let's just be real. Joe going night around 5:30. He gonna already be in his little two-piece. Got his little house slippers on. Jill done made him his chamomile tea. He's done. 2:30. That's when you're gonna get the State of the Union. He gonna let you get your lunch break together, whatever. He know you got a smartphone. He not worried about that. What he gonna do is he gonna take his time and then he gonna get that done. Now, some people say, well, what's gonna happen if we have a situation? You know how they get called in the middle of the night and you got to get up, and that's not going to be the reality right there. Kamala just going to have to stand in for him. I'm going to tell you that right now. Because if somebody like the chief of staff come knocking on that door and Jill open up and be like, yes, ma'am, we're trying to get we're trying to get the president to come down to the situation room. She's going to be like, I just gave him a melatonin about 45 minutes ago. He ain't going to get up till about 8:30 in the morning. So why don't y'all just run over there and call Kamala? Because I'm going to tell you right now, he got to get his rest. Joe, 78-year-olds now, they might not stay up late, but Joe be up by 3:30 in the morning. Now he gonna be up by 3:30 in the morning with a cup of coffee, that piece of toast that they that they make, and that one slice of bacon. He gonna do that. Now he gonna do that, and then we gonna be good. But I'm really interested to see how that's gonna work out. But I'm gonna tell you right now, if y'all find out that we start having State of the Unions and those evening presidential talks at 2:30, your boy told you. That's all I'm gonna tell you. I told you that we was gonna have that. So I'm excited, man. We got some pretty amazing things that's been taking place with this. I love to see how many people turned out to vote this time. I think that was the most amazing thing, was whether you voted for Trump or whether you voted for Biden, the fact is you went out and voted. And I'm not normally a person that really talks about going out to vote and having to do that, but this was one of those years that I just felt like, yeah, you got to spread that message, because not doing that, whether that's on the national level or in your local area, people don't even realize that the average person doesn't even know who's responsible for their trash pickup in their local area. So don't just think of your importance of politics, of going out to vote just for the people between who run in the presidential election. That's not where it starts. That's not where it even starts. That's where it actually stops. But your local is definitely needed you. And so we got to make sure we exercise our vote, because without it, man, we're absolutely hopeless in this society. So listen, with that being said, man, we're going to get into this show. Like I said, I got a great group of people that we're going to absolutely love to talk to. And one of them that I'm about to introduce to you guys is truly, truly an amazing individual. This guy, I had the pleasure of meeting as me and my wife was riding around grabbing us some Krispy Kreme donuts. And I pulled up, and this man has to have the best Halloween display in the whole Southeast of the United States of America. I'm talking about Walking Dead zombies, and everything. I was blown away, man. So we had to pull over, and initially I was a little concerned, because you don't just black guy riding up on a white guy in the middle of in the dark. That's usually and we can conceal carry here. So I didn't want to just do that. So what I'm saying. So I had to alert him that, hey, this is a friendly Negro, and I just wanted to let him know that I wanted to just say I really enjoyed his Halloween decorations, man. And I'm gonna tell you, from that particular conversation, man, one thing led to the next, and found out a lot about him, man. This gentleman is an amazing attorney. He helps work and fight for civil rights here in the state of North Carolina, and he has also presided and defended for 20 capital murder cases. And he's going to be here to talk to us a little bit more about that legal aspect of what this election really means and what it's going to look like for the society of America. So, ladies and gentlemen, please help me in welcoming Mr. Jesse Jones.
Hey, guys.
What's up, Jesse?
Hey, how are you doing?
Oh, man, I'm doing good, man. Thank you so much for joining us, man.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, man, I had to, man.
Really funny. I really enjoyed what you were saying. That was really funny. That was really good.
Oh, well, thank you, Jesse. You sound like you was expecting it to be garbage.
Well, I didn't know what to expect.
That's okay, Jesse. That's okay. I'm just glad it turned out all right for you.
I'm going to steal some of it and use it tomorrow when I go to the courtroom.
Man, please do. Please do. And if they lock you up, I at least got $12 on that. So, so Jesse, man, I mean, seriously, like first and foremost, man, how did you even get into law? What made you passionate about getting into the law and then making your decision to, get involved in the civil rights aspect of it?
Well, it's very strange. I went to NC State on a football scholarship. And so I was a typical jock, and I weighed about 300 pounds. I got in a lot of trouble. I was always getting in trouble. I like to fight. And so I went to court one day in a situation where I was working as a bouncer, and I got hit over the head with a beer bottle. I got in a fight with 8 guys, and I put 4 of them in the hospital. And so I went to court thinking there's no way I could get convicted.
Hold on. You how many you put in the hospital?
I got in a fight with 8 guys. I put 4 of them in the hospital.
Yeah. See, I'm gonna just ask for you to be my personal security, because that's some of that Taken, Liam Neeson type stuff.
I was on roids. I was juiced up. I was humongous. I looked like a little Hulk.
Oh, okay. So you had a little help.
I had a lot of help. Kirsty, Diana Ball, they were all helping me.
Yeah, so
back in the 80s.
Oh, so wow.
I went to court and represented myself, and I got convicted. And I was like, wait, they hit me in the back of the head with the beer bottle first. How did I get convicted? And so when I was leaving the courtroom, I left my hat in there. And don't ever wear a muscle shirt when you go to defend yourself in a self-defense case and you weigh about 300 pounds. I don't think that helped my case. But so I go back to get my hat, and the judge was talking to the victim's family, saying he would see him at soccer practice. So then I confronted the judge. I appealed it. I went to Superior Court. They upped the charges, and I got a court-appointed lawyer. The court-appointed lawyer would never meet with me, would never talk to me. Because I'm a chemist. I was a chemist. I'd never planned to be a lawyer. Never met with me. And then the next thing I get a call is that, hey, your case is for trial. And I said, wait, how can my case be for trial? I've never talked to my lawyer.
Right.
And we go into the courtroom, and she says, if you get convicted, you're going to prison. And I go, what the? This is the first time I've ever met you. You never returned my call. And so she said, well, you plead guilty to this, and you're going to have to pay back $25,000, $30,000 in medical bills, and you'll have to be on probation. And so I was like, okay, so I did it. And when I walked out of the thing, they had a go to law school LSAT thing. And so I ripped it off, and I told my now wife, I said, that's some bullshit. I'm going to law school. I'm not going to let that happen to another person. And then she told the judge we're in front of, I got 8 hours on this case. And I said to the judge, I don't know how she got 8 hours, Judge. It's the first time I've seen her. And so that's how I became a lawyer. I was on probation the entire time I was in law school. So that's kind of how it started. And growing up, you know, most of my life, you know, since I played ball, most of my friends were not, and close friends were not white. And so over the period of that and what happened to me is I was destined to end up where I'm at.
Man, so that's amazing, man. And then to become a civil rights attorney at that. And am I right to understand that you are the head of the NAACP in Harnett County in North Carolina?
I am the vice president. I am the vice president.
I'm sorry. Oh, they gave the presidency to the black person, so it's a little switch. It's okay.
But sometimes when she's out, I become the acting president. And you know, we have a really active charter in Harnett County, and we do a lot of a lot of good things.
Got you. Well, man, listen, we really happy to have you. One of my friends also just joined us here, Jesse. So I want to also introduce him so that we can get the conversation started. This gentleman, man, I remember when I first started doing stand-up comedy, he was absolutely amazing. I'll never forget him. And how he was generous to me. He came to St. Louis, Missouri. I believe they were doing the Def Comedy Jam tour, and he happened to be there. I was a younger fellow back then, wasn't even thinking about doing stand-up. And this guy flat out tore the whole place up, man. I believe we was at the Fox Theater. And when I tell you, man, I never saw somebody that smooth with that level of class and enthusiasm on a stage telling jokes in a way that was very, very positive, insightful, and drop dead funny. So I gotta introduce this gentleman. I think he's currently driving right now, but we gonna still put him we still gonna put him out here and let him know we got a lot of love for you. Ladies and gentlemen, about a round of applause. The comedian of the hour, as well as an author, as well as a playwright, and as well as a diplomatic humanitarian. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Mr. Billy D. Washington. Billy D, can you hear me, sir? Let me see if I can unmute Mr. Washington. Hold on. Can you hear me?
Is that it?
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
I'm good, hey, brother. Thank you for the introduction. I was really wondering who you was talking about until you called my name.
Hey, well, you know, every now and then, once our wives tell us about the real of ourselves, then sometimes we have to be reminded that these other things about us do exist.
These other things do exist. There was such distant memories, but thank you for bringing them back to my recollection. I appreciate it. How you doing, brother?
Oh, man, I'm wonderful, sir. I'm doing wonderful, man. Thank you so much for joining us, man.
Of course, man. I'm sorry that I wasn't at home, but I had a recording session tonight that ran a little bit long because we got a little bit overly enthusiastic. But yeah, man. But I'm here now. So again, my apologies for not being at home. But
oh, that's okay. But also, there's no need to let us know that you have work. I mean, that's a little trifling, but yeah. It's okay.
Yeah. No, I was paying for it, so it's not working. Yeah, I was paying for it, so it wasn't that. It's not that at all.
Oh no, man, it's all good, man. I'm just glad to have you on here with us, man. Listen, so I want to get straight into this, man, because a lot of us have really been going back and forth about how things have been going with this election. And the reason why I say going on with the election is because in truth, man, we still have to deal with more of this drama. We still got to deal with more of the drama because Georgia has now just decided that they're going to recalculate the votes. They say they're going to recalculate the votes. Now, y'all tell me, but if the votes have already been taken time out, everybody been going through them, and it's showing that somebody won, shouldn't we be done?
Well, I mean, first of all, yes, we should be done. It should be over. But there is such an overwhelming majority of people who would rather, ignore the democratic process, who would ignore the Constitution in favor of their candidate. Now, we acted like this when Hillary lost, but we didn't take it to this extreme. Because the thing is, if you want to feel bad about your candidate, I get that. Because it took me a while to get over Hillary. It took me a while to get over Al Gore. But still, it wasn't to this extent. It wasn't, people weren't buying into the propaganda like they're buying into right now. It's like any lie that you want to tell, Azim, that lie has a chance of being believed. Any
Absolutely.
untruth that you want to float out there, it has a chance of being believed, man. And what's frustrating to me is when black people try and, they believe the propaganda. It's not over until they ain't counted all the votes, whatever. But come on, bro. I mean, this is a democratic process. If somebody is lost by that much, then clearly, I mean, they're not going to recount the popular vote.
Billy,
Look at what the people have spoken.
Now, but here's the thing. You say black people believe in it. The reality of it is, man, so many people are involved in so much misinformation right now.
Right.
This is the wheel, man. I was watching a documentary the other day that's on Netflix that talks about social media. And this is where most people are getting their news. What blows my mind, man, is that we live in a society where we got smartphones in everybody's hands, but the masses of the people are dumb as hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
but the thing is, those algorithms in Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, whatever you like, it'll show you that. There's a thing in our head, in the system called the retinal activating system, in all of our brains. And when it's activated, whatever you focus on is what you're gonna see.
Right.
It's like whenever you ever see a car, you go, "Hey man, that's a unique car. I don't ever see that car anywhere." And then you start to focus on the car and go, "Well, I might get me one of those because it's so unique."
Right.
I'd be doggone if you don't start seeing that car everywhere.
As soon as you buy it.
As soon as you buy it, and those algorithms, they imitate the human retinal activating system. Anything that you search for, any news that you're looking for, is all hooked into Google. Whatever, and I've seen it. You've seen it happen. You think it's like that? You think it's a coincidence? Oh my God! I was looking for barbecue chicken gizzards on Google, and all of a sudden, somebody on Twitter is talking about barbecue chicken gizzards. Well,
chicken gizzards.
Yes, sir. And all those algorithms are tied together so that whatever you like, whatever your taste is, you will see it. So it is some of the fault of the people for not wanting to find an actual book somewhere and do their own independent research via a library, via a book, via an actual newspaper article. But a lot of the fault lies with social media because of those algorithms. Whatever you want, whatever you're looking for, that's what they're gonna show it. That's what they're gonna show to you.
That's right, man. What do you got to say about that, Jesse?
Well, I don't disagree with that. I mean, you say a word or you go to something and look in a store and then it starts popping up. I think we've got to do something about that. But see, once again, the freedoms as Americans that we're given, how do you start restraining some of this stuff on the social media? How do you start restraining? I mean, a lot of the clients, I have a lot of clients who are the white, uneducated, and they come a lot because they get abused by the government a lot. You don't ever see a lot of that on TV, and they just they can't process certain things such as facts. They have a tough time. It's insane. It's insane.
Yes,
opinions they can get, but they can't catch that. They can't catch that.
No, they can't. And I don't know how we do it. Do we put in a system where if you're a politician and you tell lies that get stricken, or what do we do? I mean, because you've got the First Amendment sitting out there, you got a whole bunch of issues that we have as a country we need to address because it's only going to get worse. Imagine if he runs into 2024. Just imagine that.
Yeah.
And what Billy was saying, I mean, golly.
And he could.
I was thinking of this hot girl.
And Hillary.
Go ahead.
Right.
What were you saying?
I was saying, I mean, you think a thought and it like pops up on your phone and you're just like, what the? Is somebody following me? It's really spooky. I mean,
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the thing that blew my mind in this documentary, and this goes to what both of you all are saying, is that they brought up about how they could fix it. Mark Zuckerberg was there. Now, this is why this documentary was so powerful, is because in this documentary, they were making sure that they let people know that in social media, they were able to prove that they were able to actually get people out to vote during what they call the midterm elections. They were actually able to do that, and they proved with their algorithm usage that they could get people to actually go out and vote. So if they know how to do that, then they know also how not to feed people the same propaganda that they're getting. The problem that all of these people, and when I say on this documentary, those who they were actually talking to, the people that they were actually talking to were the former CEO of Pinterest, the former vice president of Google. Then another gentleman who was a part of Facebook. Pinterest and then Facebook. And the guy that the guy that created the whole swipe down thing on Facebook, he said that they did that because he went to Stanford University and they have a college called Persuasive Thinking. And in this particular college or this department at Stanford, they are actually working with some of the brightest minds in America to teach them how to circumvent your conscious mind and go under that and go straight to your subconscious. So things that you do and different activities that you do, you'll start operating on and not even knowing why. And it's based on the algorithm starting to become quicker at the way that you choose decisions. And so if this is the case, and then you go to the Congress like they did, and they brought Mark Zuckerberg there and they asked him about this, his response was, we have some other things in AI to fix this. So you're going to take the solution to the very people that created the problem.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
And then the problem becomes, when do they start sanctioning you on the legitimate causes? Like let's say police officers targeting black males. What if that comes up and then all of a sudden they say, oh, we're not going to believe this, and then that gets taken off the feed? I mean, how do you stop it? So that's the problem. If you start sanctioning all the lies and stuff, and sometime you're going to cross over to something that most of the population would say, oh, that doesn't really happen. You know, because most of the white population doesn't think anybody's getting targeted by the police officers. Right. And if you're in the black community, you're a minority party, you're like, shit, a cop's behind me. You tighten up and you're like, and you've done nothing wrong. You know, you don't know how many times I've been with my friends who've got their doctors, their lawyers, and they're driving, a cop gets behind them, and he becomes another person, just locks up and goes. And, you know, I'm sitting there doing crazy stuff, and I shouldn't do what I do. But my friends have to actually worry about that. And so what I'm saying is that we've got to do something about it. But if we try to do something, could we lessen the impact, so where somebody puts that out, all of a sudden that's taken off, like it doesn't happen?
Yeah, I mean, the reality of it is that we have to acknowledge that this, while people are excited, there's a whole nother group of people out there that are flat out in rage. They're flat out enraged, and it's nothing really to take lightly. And the reason why I say that is I was looking at the news the other day, and they had 4 paramilitary groups of Trump supporters out there. And as Trump calls them, his tough guys. That's how Trump relates to those people who walk around with a M16s and AK-47s and assault rifles and all of the things that would be looked at as a definite threat in the black community if black people were walking around like that. And yet these people, when they realize that if they feel like that Trump is gone, they're not going to accept, flat out, they're not going to accept that he lost fair and square. And some of them are already out there threatening to cause harm and mayhem in our communities. And initially, when I first thought about it, somebody asked me, well, how do you feel like, if they're going to start targeting black people, how do you feel? I said, well, I feel like it's just another day in America for me, because it didn't matter what group we were under. We've always had that concern for our safety. But now, by and large, these people are actually having a voice. They didn't have that voice like they do now prior to Trump coming into office. To me, Trump was the equivalent of a leader of a terrorist organization talking to sleeper cells.
Yeah.
Because once he came on the scene, they like, I can talk. I can actually say what I feel. Now, the reality of it is this. I know, and I'm going to be honest, I know some people who actually have voted for Trump, and you could just throw them all in and say they're racist, but I'm going to be honest, I don't think all of them are. But I know that I tell you one thing, they all voted for somebody who is racist. The deep part about that is that when we get to the point where we make decisions predicated upon dollars and not core values that's rooted for a universal focus, this is where we lose. And so what I want to ask each and every one of you all, including some of our people that have actually joined us on Zoom, I just want to ask, what do you feel is the blowback that will come, if Donald Trump does not concede to Joe Biden?
I think that the blowback is going to be, I think there's going to be a significant blowback, but I think the result of it is going to be swift, because what people don't realize, especially in Texas where I live, is that liberals have guns too. And black people have guns legally too. And nobody's going to stand around and just get dragged out of the car and get hanged without a fight. Harris County, Texas is one of the most liberal places in the country. Joe Biden won the election by the popular vote. These dudes can come out. They can make their threats. They can do whatever they want to do. But when the rubber hits the road, only Kyle Rittenhouse has really come out and really done something. And again, nothing happened to him so far, whatever. But people are ready for these attacks. Nobody is sitting around waiting on white militias or far right militias to come and burn down the house and whatever. People are going to retaliate, and the first time that happens, just because what Trump has done, he's breeded a lot of people in his image, and what his image is a bully. So he's breeding a bunch of these bullies. And what happened with bullies is, like, once you punch a bully in the mouth, then the bully ain't a bully no more. Because the thing is, first of all, you'll never see a bully by himself. A bully's got to always have people with him. And dude, there are laws. You can't just randomly do stuff like you can do it anymore. They do it and try and get away with it. But I just think that everybody's prepared for it. And I think that unfortunately, I think that there are going to be some malicious groups that are going to be made examples of, because what's going to happen is they're going to bring those guns. They're going to come up with the wrong people, and something's going to happen to them that they don't expect.
Yeah, and then on top of that, Trump's not going to pay for their attorney at that particular point.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not going to do that. His thing is, I want you to defend me, but I'll never come and defend you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never come and defend you. What do you want? Anything you want to share on that, Jesse?
Well, I've had a serious run-in over the last 4 months with these militia guys, and a lot of them that we're seeing you find them in law enforcement, and my office has been targeted. We've gotten 2 fake pipe bombs. We've had all kinds of stuff happen. Multiple threats about killing. My office staff is all minority. Multiple threats to them about killing them. In my county is not liberal like Billy's is. My county is very conservative, and it's the blowback before this was really bad. I don't know what's going to happen now. I know when I go in the courthouse down there are law enforcement officers who won't talk to me. They won't look at me. You know, and before when I'd walk by, you could hear him over there, you know, oh, you know, Trump's got his, you know, because I'm involved in a lawsuit with a bunch of clients who were killed by police officers, and it's going to federal court in about two months. And so the blowback is that we're seeing is they think that they're going to push and do little things. Like my wife got ran, she was coming to work and she has a Joe Biden sticker and somebody ran her off the road. And you know, she was upset because we just lost her mother to COVID. And so we had to take all our bumpers off our car. I mean, so there are small things that happen that you'll never see on the news media, that in the counties that are not blue and liberal, it's going to get worse for, you know, my clientele. I see it more and more where a client comes in and people think it's okay to call somebody the N word. They think, you know, it's okay to call Hispanic slurs, and, you know, and it's just really increased. And I don't think it's going to stop, because I think that Trump tapped into that bigotry, that systematic racism that we've always known is out there. And, you know, me growing up in the way I was raised, you know, I didn't see it so much because I was raised in a community where most of my friends were not white. We talked about it, but now you see it coming forward. It's coming out, and I don't think it's going to go away, guys. I think it's going to get worse, because, you know, what Lyndon Johnson said is, if you tell the lowest white man he's better than the greatest black man, you can always feed him this junk and he's going to fall for it. And I think that's what is happening in America. We have seen the white. I'm a perfect example of white privilege. How many do you think a black man could get in law school and go to law school if he had a serious felony assault? No way. I had a rich family and I was white. I mean, I realized that. If it had been my friend Rodney, who's a lawyer now, if he had that, he would have never gotten law school. And a lot of America does not want to see that. And that bigotry, that 50%, 71 million people voted for that motherfucker. I mean, seriously, think about that.
Exactly.
I mean, and all that's getting ready to come forward. And I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how do you fix that? How do we stop it when somebody looks at you and says, oh, he's a really funny guy, not he's a really funny black comedian? You know, I want the whole world to do that.
Right.
But you don't see that. And
yeah.
For me, because I could go between the two worlds. Like, say, I was at a protest the other day and it started getting violent. And so I just stepped over to the other side and walked away. And I could do that. And I'm like, I'm out.
Right. Yeah, you could easily just be like, no, I was just trying to pass through there. I was going from the toilet. So.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, and to the point, what you're saying is, yeah, I think the number one thing that we have to do in order to make it change, it starts with like what we just did, you know, pulling as much as we could together to start working toward finding that those group of people that we can elect. I mean, to me, and I just be honest with you, I mean, I'm not a big Joe Biden fan either. Now, I mean, but he definitely, yeah, he definitely better than this idiot that we have there, because he just have nothing. You know, when you think about it, like you could say, if you don't like somebody, you still have something good that you could say about them. There's nothing. There's literally like nothing, not even a nice gum line. There's nothing. You know what I mean? With Joe, on the other hand, like, I mean, because we had some things that we had to deal with, but one thing that he said the other day that I actually liked, it was during the debate, and Donald Trump had brought up about the whole point of him, you know, when he helped make the 3-strike law and agreed with that, the man at least had the testicular fortitude to say, I was wrong. I was wrong. I messed up. And that's something that that's something that you ask for somebody. But at the end of the day, one of the big things that I'm thinking about now as we moving forward is, now we have the first female to be in the vice president's spot. And I think that's absolutely amazing. And then for her to be a black woman, I think also, I think it's inspiring to so many people, and I'm just interested to find out how many of you all feel like, in what ways do you think this will be motivational to women all around the country, to young girls around the country, and to our society overall?
I think it's great. I think being a member of the vice president of the NAACP, it was a big point for us to get people out there to vote. Is Kamala being elected, and we initially had a problem with, because I had a lot of constituents in who said that they didn't think she was black enough. And we'd go to some of these churches and stuff, and they say, "We don't think she's black enough." And I'm like, she went to Howard University. She's an AKA.
Yeah, I ain't never understood where the not black enough is.
Yeah, I mean, we had that so many times from other blacks, and saying she's disconnected to where we're at. And so to see her get elected and to know how powerful she is, if you've ever heard her speak and you've ever dealt with her as a trial adversary, she's tough, and she's not going to take any shit from, Mitch McConnell or those guys.
Absolutely.
I mean, she's an AKA. You know what that means. She's going to bring it with a whole bunch of other people. And
she got a squad behind her now. So I mean, myself personally, I think it's going to be amazing. I'm excited to still have each one of my daughters. We have 5 girls, and to see my daughters and my granddaughters be able to grow up and see a black woman as the vice president of the United States, that's huge. That's huge. And I really think that it's going to make a wonderful difference. Because here's the thing, I'm always a person that believes that God will use the worst situation to still bring about his will and allow it to be done. Right. And so just like he showed us, to me, President Trump's election and being elected into office, to me, was separating the wheat from the tare, allowing people to get to see what this society really is about. While we were saying, oh yeah, we've come so far and there's no racism in America to that extent. And then when Trump got into office, people was like, oh shoot, I didn't even realize it was like that. So Billy, what you got, man? What you feeling? You gotta turn your mute back on. What is this, Billy?
Huh?
Okay, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, man, I'm proud of Kamala. I don't, when people were talking about potential presidential candidates, nothing was wrong with her back then. People were excited about Kamala from the jump, but it seems like when she got closer to the big office, then all that confidence eroded. I just think people gravitate to negativity as a society. I think that the more negative something is, the more we want to gravitate to it, especially our people. Hey, man, I'm going to say something that probably not going to be popular, but, they said that Kamala put a lot of people in jail in California. Well, nobody came out and said they were innocent that went to jail. So nobody, chances are you don't go to jail unless you've done something. Now, Black people have been unfairly represented in court for a long time. I get that. All that plays into it. I understand all that. But all this, she'd be putting Black men in jail for whatever. If you really research Kamala, you would know that she's done more. Like, her intent was to do better than what she'd gotten credit for. And the thing is like, people didn't come after Geraldine Ferraro like they're coming after Kamala Harris. They didn't even come after Sarah Palin like they came after Kamala Harris. Like, Sarah Palin had a lot of skeletons in her closet that people didn't recognize or people didn't spotlight. But when it comes to Kamala, talking under her skirt, really? When the first lady, all you have to do is Google, whatever that is, naked Trump wife, and it can pop up for your kids. But then they're going to talk about like Kamala's character and some of the relationship decisions that she made when she was young. Dude, it's just like this society is gonna implode just based on not their quest for knowledge, but their quest to attach themselves to anything that's negative. Trump is out, bro. He's done. Trump is like that bully. Even if you don't like Biden, whatever. I mean, I have my problems with Joe Biden, of course, but I'm gonna give him a chance. Giving Biden a chance is better than keeping a bully in the schoolyard. Man, like Trump leaving is like being at a bad school. Like America's like a bad school right now. America's like a bad school to go to. It's like one of them inner city schools and stuff. One of the kinds that I went to in the hood. One of those schools. That's what America is right now.
Yeah.
But Trump was the bully there, right? So it's still a bad school now that he's gone.
Yeah, but we're gonna make it a magnet school. Now it's a magnet school.
Right. Yeah, we're gonna try to. But at least now the bully is gone. We still got to make the school better. Okay, we got a principal. We got somebody there now who says he's gonna make stuff better. Okay, we're gonna hold him to what he says. He's saying all the right stuff. I'm glad that he's there, but I'm just glad that the bully is no longer around anymore. And as soon as the cronies, as soon as the sycophants of the bullies realize that he's not coming back, then the schoolyard is gonna be a much better place.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I really appreciate it, man. I'm telling you, I think it's gonna do a lot of good to see somebody else in there. And you're right, we do have to give them a chance, but we got to hold them accountable too. And I think that's one of the main things, because here's the thing: when I see Van Jones on CNN crying to that level, where I almost wanted to get him a brown paper bag to get himself together, because he was hyperventilating like he had just got a spanking with a switch. And when I see that level of pain in somebody that they've gone through, and then the person that you put all of that hope in, if they don't do the work, that's the level of accountability that we have to have. That's the level of accountability that we have to have. So I don't think it just ends with, okay, now he's there. Now, what are we going to do to make sure that things are going to continue to go further, and actually call them on stuff and say, look, no, we got to get it all the way done, you know? So the last thing I want to talk about before we get to our special guest tonight is about this whole vaccine. You know, now, you know, they got the COVID vaccine. Of course, it just came out that it's 90% effective. I'm gonna tell you right now, they trying to get people to take this vaccine. I'm really not a big truster in the vaccines, especially when I already figure it's amazing that COVID come out August of 20, y'all start working on it, and now at the early part of November, we got a little something for you. Me personally, I'm not gonna be the first to take it. That's for darn sure. Because you know, you got to let the sheep see how things gonna work out. I just want to wonder how many of y'all feel about actually dealing with this corona COVID virus, that this vaccine that is supposedly 90% effective.
Azim, I think that we gotta trust somebody.
Come on, Billy. Billy.
Yeah, I'm with Billy on this.
Billy, come on now.
Listen, I just think that we have to trust somebody, dude. I mean, we can't independent research ourselves into a cure. We can't continuously look for reasons not to do stuff. Now, if that's the way you want to live your life, then it's fine, man. We got to trust somebody. If we're not going, who do you trust? Like, if you say, I'm not going to take the vaccine, then what type of treatment will you adhere to? Okay,
I'm going to take some castor oil.
Yeah.
I'm going to take some castor oil and some elderberry juice. Listen here, Billy. I'm not saying, listen to me. I'm not a person about vaccines where I'm 100% extreme that under no circumstance should you not ever take a vaccine. All I am saying is that it's time, if we're starting to realize that people just give us information and we don't, it's just like saying you go to church and they tell you what the Bible say, but you don't never go research it and look it up for yourself. All I'm saying is take a moment.
Given that example, Azim, you can't really we can't research the Bible because it already happened. You know, I mean, it's faith.
No, I'm just saying, I'm talking about just saying, just based on a verse, what the Bible say. And you got the opportunity to at least do some level of ask a question about the vaccine. But just saying, just take a vaccine. And I was just talking to somebody about this earlier. There are certain vaccinations that people have taken that, you know, it's great for a certain group of people, but then I've also did shows for people whose children look like swollen up beach balls, man, because they took these vaccines and it didn't work. And so for me, it's very sensitive, man. And then not to mention in our society, I mean, the whole Tuskegee experiment. You know, you can go on and on and on about different things that were called vaccinations that even if there is something, I'm not just going to be quick to jump out and just follow along just because somebody say, now we got it and I got to take it.
No, and well, you go ahead, Jesse. I've talked enough.
You know, I'm with you on that, Billy. You know, and I'm a chemist before I became a lawyer. And the Pfizer, me and my wife have 4 friends who are in those trials. And, you know, this is not your typical vaccines like the measles and other things. This vaccine's different. This one, they've been developing COVID vaccines for quite some time. And this was just a different variation. So I guarantee you, Pfizer probably had this vaccine ready a month after COVID hit, and they've been running it through trials. You know, I take the vaccine because I just lost my mother-in-law due to COVID, and it was brutal what my family went through because somebody wouldn't wear a mask. But I can understand about being skeptical, especially in you know, certain communities, because our government has, you know, is not being honest, and you know, so it's a catch-22, and I think the person has to do it, you know, individually, what you feel is right for you. I mean,
but the thing about Pfizer and the government is that the Pfizer hadn't taken any government funding at all.
I understand.
Do they have to?
No.
I mean, you talking about a multi-billion-dollar company? I wouldn't have to take it either.
And they're a multi-billion-dollar company. And how did they get like drugs like Viagra? Like people say, well, I'm not going to take this vaccine for the same people that they're taking their Viagra from. You know?
Yeah,
like,
they're going to do that. They're going to make an exception.
Now I'm not. I'm not. Like,
let's not get carried away here, Billy.
Yeah, right.
Priorities.
Right. Yes, but it's the same company. And if you're gonna buy the other drugs, if you're gonna adhere to whatever that is, if you're gonna look for nefarious intent, because there was intent when it came to the Tuskegee experiment. The intent here is for them to be able to make money. They want their stock prices to go through the roof based on what this vaccine is. And hey, man, I'm just like you guys. I'm not taking it first. I'm not gonna be the first one.
But that's what I just said.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I said I'm like you guys. I'm not going. But you were saying about the distrust of these companies. And
okay,
you know,
if you're not going to take it first, there's a little distrust there.
No, I mean, of course.
That's what
distrust there.
Then there again, I say again, Billy. Then why are we fighting?
But the thing is, I thought that you were saying like I'm not going to take it first, but I'm still going to be in that line.
Well, until somebody pass out, then you're gonna get nervous and get a little further in the line. See, this is what I'm talking about. Don't tell me about just trusting someone. That's bull, Billy. Come on now. You know good and well the mere fact that you say, I'm gonna take it, but I'm gonna let y'all 2,500 go first, and I'm gonna see how that work out.
Right.
And if 1,250 of them fall out, I guarantee you, Billy is not in that line for at least another year and a half.
Well, it has 91% approval, so it didn't, but 9 of them fall out.
Well, and you know what? But the truth of the matter is, based on what they reported from what I saw on CNN, they only actually gave it to like 50 people. The rest of them was placebos. So I mean 9. I mean, we know. Have you ever? We all have told jokes in a room of 10 people, and if only 3 people laugh, you can't say that joke ain't valuable. And you show at the same time, if 9 of them laugh, you can't say that was a killer bit, because I mean it just happened. Because 10 people is really not a good judge, and nor is 50. That's all I'm gonna say. I
thought it was. Well, I hadn't heard that, so I'm not gonna comment on it.
Well, don't just take another vape.
I'm taking the shot there. I'm getting.
That's all. We also would like to let you know that Billy's vape is also made by Pfizer. So it's just a dude down the street, though. That's his last name.
Yeah,
but look, it's spelled PHI. But anyway.
Yes, and I'm smoking Viagra Mist right now, just so you know.
Oh man, listen, man, I want to thank y'all so much, man, for joining, man, and sharing with your insights as well, because this is what it takes, man. It takes a community to really be able to find out where we are, and this is going to be a conversation for a very long time. One of the things I don't like to see, though, is like when I look at CNN or when I compare it to Fox News or when I compare it to MSNBC, how they spent hours and hours and hours and hours and hours giving updates on who was being elected. But as soon as the person got called, they went right back to business as usual. And again, this is what we can't allow to happen. We have to stay focused. We have to stay aware. Some people, even in Georgia, I talked to today, they didn't even realize that their votes are about to be recounted again. And, just while we on that subject, the other point I wanted to bring up was here's a situation now where if they want, they actually can put themselves in a position where the states can actually call who they want to go ahead and vote for. It can actually get to this point right now. And so, hey, all I can tell you is that man pulling some moves right at this very moment to get people. Think about it. He got the darn Secretary of State for the state of Georgia just because if he comes out now, all of his followers that have voted for Trump got to go to somebody. So if you piss him off, they realizing that's going to affect them in the long run as well. And so it's different moves, man. It's like I said, it's nothing in the Constitution that says that they got to give you those electoral votes. That it's just not there. It's not there. So could he do something that would shock the world? Hell yeah.
I mean, according to the Constitution and Electoral College, they could if they jumped over. But the state legislatures, most of them have something in place to stop that. But technically, I hope he's not watching this. Technically,
you never know. He might pop in.
I'm sure.
Well, and the president-elect's lawyers haven't spoken either. All this stuff is offense from the Trump administration. We haven't heard any type of defense from the Biden administration. When his lawyers get involved and they start doing whatever they do to thwart or keep these lawsuits from advancing or whatever, that's when stuff starts to get serious. When they start to get lost is when I start to get worried. But since we haven't heard from them, when you hear that Biden's lawyers are involved, then you know it's getting serious. But we have not heard that. He is business as usual. He is 8 to 5 right now. He is handling his business.
No, not 8 to 5. He's 7 to 3:30. Biden 78. He is not working. He's not working after 4. I can tell you that right now. I just was telling them before you came on because, of course, you was late. But as I was sharing with everybody else, I said, you know what? We're going to start having State of the Unions around 2:30 in the afternoon because by 5:30, 78-year-old man, they put their pajamas on 5:45. I can tell you that. So it's not going to be happening the way we used to do it. So, but, I mean, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be something interesting to see. But it also speaks to the level of foolery that Trump is all about. So again, man, I want to thank y'all so much. And
thank you, man.
Yeah. Don't go anywhere, man, because we got a special guest with us tonight. This young brother is absolutely amazing, man. I first met him when I was performing at an APCA showcase in I want to say Orlando, Florida, about a year ago. And he's absolutely a phenomenal young man. He's got a wonderful spirit. And also it's my first child, actually. When it was during a time when I was having a little wayward ways, and I just came across him, and then when I looked in his eyes, I was like, this is my baby. I heard his voice, and I was like, it sounded like that cry that they told me about. But he's amazing, man. And I didn't even want to bring it up because he had been already on The Voice and had done so many amazing things with his career. But, being that he also had that level of stature, it just made it even more reasonable for me to be able to have him and claim him as mine, especially since you can still get an earned income credit. So it brings me great pleasure to introduce the national recording artist, Mr. Matthew Schuler.
Yeah, this song is called "We Were the Night." Just came out about 2 weeks ago. So hope you guys enjoy it. She was a lady of the evening. I wasn't there. She said, baby, it's the weekend. Come out and play. So we run through the city with our masks on our faces, feeling our love in all the gaps and the spaces. Bump out the poison until you listen. We rule the night, we rule the night, we rule the night. We rule the night, we rule the night, we rule the night. Oh, 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 oh. We can do anything we want to. We'll put on a show. Baby, you know I won't forget you as long as you don't. And my heart's going blind and we're raising our voices. Forgive us our sins and all our bad choices. Bump out the poison. Scream till you listen. We rule the night, we rule the night, we rule the night. We rule the night, we rule the night, we rule the night. And I'll roam the streets to find you, to find something to hold. I wanna make the most of the time we have. So let's paint this town, turn it upside down, never hit the ground. Make my heart dance. We rule the night, we rule the night, we rule the night. We rule the night, we rule the night, we rule the night. We rule the night, we rule the night, we rule the night. We rule the night, we rule the night, we rule the night. Whoa, whoa,
Man, y'all better put your hands together for my friend, my son, the great Matthew Schuler, man. Man, Matthew, thank you so much for joining us, brother.
Yo, thank you for having me, man. Yo, I'm so grateful that you're doing this, bro. We're trying to spread peace and unity and all this stuff, bro. Our country has been under a lot of turmoil. You know, we got something new happening now, and we're just praying for the best, man. And honestly, like what you're doing, you know, us being able to create art and you make people laugh, I just be singing, and you know, hopefully we can just make people happy. That's really the goal. Period.
Yeah, man. Yeah. You know, I remember when I first met you, you know, the song that stood out to me that says a whole lot about where we are as a country. And I think this is what a lot of people was feeling when Trump actually lost was Hallelujah.
Well,
like flat out, like flat out hallelujah. You know what I mean? Because we gotta have a better situation.
Yeah.
You know, we got to have a better situation. And I mean, we leaving this to you, man. We old heads out here on this particular podcast.
Man.
You know, everybody over here, you know, Billy's the oldest, but you know, the Billy, how old are you now? 36? Yeah, he mad at me now. I think
You said he's mad?
I think Billy.
You're talking about he's gonna be taking naps, bro. You said the State of the Union address is gonna be at 2:00.
At least 2:00. Come on now. Come on. And he gonna be in his house shoes.
Yeah, you like you said, they put him in PJs on it like 5:45.
Hey, that's real talk. And they get toast and coffee first thing in the morning. That's right at about 4:30 in the morning. But can you close us out, man, with another song of some healing, man? Because I mean, here's the thing. I really believe Hallelujah will do that. I believe Hallelujah will do that.
My pleasure, bro.
Yeah, man. So thank you so much, man. Let's go ahead and let you close us out tonight. And again, y'all, I want to thank y'all for coming out and supporting the I'm Just Serious podcast. Make sure y'all come back and check us out again next Wednesday. I have a new group of people, and we're going to really keep this thing going. So thank you again for all the support. Make sure you subscribe to us on iTunes. Make sure you definitely go out there and get Matthew Schuler's new single and some of his other music that he still also has, which is absolutely phenomenal. Matthew, going to close us out, my friend.
Got you, brother. All right. So this was a song I sang on The Voice. Probably, yeah. I mean, it's still like my favorite song in the world. So this is Hallelujah. I hope that it blesses you. Well, I heard there was a secret chord that David played to please the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do you? It goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, and the major lift, the barefoot king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Ooh, yeah. Faith is strong, but you needed proof. You started bathing on the beauty in the moonlight overthrew you. She tied you to a kitchen chair, she broke your throne, she cut your hair, and from your lips she drew the hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Well, I did my best, it wasn't much, I couldn't feel, so I tried to touch. I've told the truth, I didn't come to fool you. Even though it all went wrong, I stand before the Lord in song, with nothing on my tongue but hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Man, y'all better put your hands together for my man. Put your hands together for him. This gentleman is amazing. Matthew Schuler, y'all. Matthew, we want to thank you, man, for coming out and joining us. And everybody, we want to thank y'all for being a part of this. Again, we couldn't do this without you. So we'll see y'all next week. Until then, man, be safe and be the change that you want to see in your own life and in your country. Peace.
Put your hands together for Azim, setting the facts straight. Too many people lean. These are comic with a conscience, but the fresh air, I'm tired of the nonsense. Not only does he have a gift for the jokes, but the main focus is to uplift the folks.